A Honda S2000. Man, I can tell you, this is a special one for me. I picked up this 2004 AP2 Honda S2000 just a few days ago. And I can still remember back to 2001 when I picked up my brand new AP1 fresh off of the showroom floor. And the feeling was no different then than it is now. Now you might be thinking, okay, Honda S2000, that makes a lot of sense. You know, knowing that I track my cars and I like high performance vehicles and I already drive a Honda, this seemed like the logical thing to get into. But what you don't know is just how special this brand really is to me. Flashback to January of 2001. I traveled to Japan for the main purpose of visiting the Honda factory. Unbeknownst to me, I did not find out until later that the Honda factory was closed. But before I knew that, I gathered up all of my belongings, I flew to Japan, I stopped in the first dealership that I could find. I proceeded to buy every single Honda accessory I could get my hands on, including this jacket that I'm wearing here. I then planned out my trip to go visit the Honda factory. I knew what city it was in, but I had no idea how to get there. So when I arrived at the bullet train station, I was dumbfounded, looking up at the bullet train map for a solid 10 minutes, trying to figure out how I was going to stumble through the system to get to the Honda factory. I was dressed in all Honda garb. This jacket, a Honda t-shirt, a Honda hat. And being that I was obviously not Japanese, I stuck out like a sore thumb for many different reasons. So while I stood there completely clueless, a gentleman from afar noticed that I was probably in need of some help. So he was nice enough to walk over to me as I was staring up at the bullet train map. He was a Japanese gentleman, very nice. He said, "Sir, can I help you?" And I said, "Yes, please, I'm trying to get to the Honda factory." And he said, "Oh, Honda factory is closed." And I can't even begin to describe to you how my heart sank and how heartbroken I was to hear those words come out of his mouth. Just a couple minutes later, he got on his cell phone. Not sure who he was talking to or who he called, but he motioned with his hand for me to wait and not walk away. I had no idea what was going on because he was speaking in Japanese. Several minutes later, he gets off the phone and he says, "Okay, you go here, you take this train, you take that train, and you take this train. You go to the Mugen factory." And I was utterly shocked. The Mugen factory? He said, "Yes, the Honda factory closed, but Mugen factory is open." And I couldn't be more ecstatic. This nice Japanese man out of nowhere came and helped a helpless foreigner, clearly a Honda fanatic, in the crazy getup I was wearing. And I came to find out that he was actually a Honda factory employee. So of course he knew that the Honda factory was closed. But out of the kindness of his heart, he set up a private tour of the Mugen factory for me. So he rode on the train with me. He guided me to make sure that I got to my destination, completely out of the way for him, nowhere near where he lived. But he wanted to make sure I didn't get lost. I got to the Mugen factory. There was a gentleman at the door waiting for us. He opened the door, he let me into the showroom, and Everything was privately guided. He told me the only thing I couldn't do was take pictures. And I was so happy at that point. I was more than happy to oblige. I think he could see the joy and the surprise on my face as I was walking through the showroom, the incredibly rich history that Honda and Mugen had in racing. The different displays of the engines and the Mugen parts for various automobiles were boundless. The gentleman that was guiding us through the tour said, "Follow me to a back showroom." And right before we walked through the doorway, he said again, "Please, no pictures here." And I said, "No problem." I couldn't imagine what I was going to see next. So we walked through the doorway and we passed a couple of shelves, all with Mugen parts. And in the background was the SSM concept car roadster, which, as most of you will know, became the Honda S2000 as we know it today. More than anything, I was taken aback by that nice gentleman who went completely out of his way to not only approach me, but hand guide me directly to the Mugen showroom and factory, just so I wouldn't feel like my trip was a waste. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why I will always be a huge Honda fan, and why I couldn't wait to get back into another S2000. Yes, it's true. I got this car because I want to track it. No hiding that fact. And I'm gonna do it. I can't wait to do it. But it's so much more than that for me. And I hope you'll join me on this journey, because it's gonna be a good one. Thank you for watching.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends I won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out, not sunning out.